Welcome to Clarity Code. Introduction. Listen carefully, because this might be the moment everything changes. You've been loving people who never chose you back. You've been giving energy, time, attention, hoping one day they'll see your worth. They won't. Not because you're not enough, but because you made them your priority while treating yourself like an option. This audiobook is your wake-up call. From this moment forward, you will stop chasing, stop begging, stop explaining, and start choosing yourself. Because the truth is simple, the moment you prioritize your own love, everything else either rises, or disappears. And both outcomes are a win. Chapter 1. Stop begging for love that should be given freely. Listen carefully. Because this is where everything starts. You are tired. Not physically. Emotionally. Mentally. Spiritually. Tired of trying. Tired of hoping. Tired of loving harder just to receive less. And yet, you keep going back. You keep texting first. You keep explaining yourself. You keep giving chances. Why? Because somewhere deep inside, you believe if you just try a little more, they will finally choose you. But they won't. Not because you are not enough, but because you are doing something that destroys your value. You are begging for what should be given freely. That's the truth. And you need to hear it without comfort. Love is not something you convince someone to give you. Love is not something you earn through sacrifice. Love is not something you negotiate. Real love shows up without pressure. You have a choice. You can continue chasing attention, or you can start recognizing effort. That's the key. Look at your behavior. You send a message. You wait. Minutes feel like hours. Hours feel like days. You check your phone again and again. No reply. And what do? You justify it. They're busy. They're going through something. They'll reply later. No. Stop lying to yourself. People respond to what matters to them. Read that again. People respond to what matters to them. If they wanted to talk to you, they would. If they valued your presence, they would show it. If they respected your time, they would prove it. You don't need their permission to see the truth. That's the key. This is not about them being bad. This is about you ignoring reality. And every time you ignore reality, you lose a piece of yourself. You have trained yourself to accept crumbs and call it connection. A late reply becomes excitement. A short conversation becomes hope. A little attention becomes everything. This is not love. This is emotional starvation. And you are feeding on scraps. You have a choice. You can continue starving, or you can walk away from the table. Because here's the truth most people avoid. The more you chase someone, the less they respect you. Not because chasing is wrong, but because it signals something dangerous. It signals that you don't respect yourself. And people mirror your standards. If you accept inconsistency, they will give you inconsistency. If you accept disrespect, they will continue disrespect. If you accept silence, they will disappear. It's not about them. It's about your discipline. Say it clearly. It's not about love, it's about discipline. Discipline to walk away. Discipline to stop texting. Discipline to sit in silence without breaking. Because that silence, that's where your power is. Right now, you're uncomfortable with silence. So you fill it. You send another message. You check again. You break your own boundaries. Why? Because you fear losing them. But understand this. You are not losing them. You are losing yourself. And that is the real problem. You don't need their permission to choose yourself. That's the key. Let's make this practical. From this moment forward, if they don't reply, you don't double text. If they don't call, you don't chase. If they disappear, you don't go looking. You stop. You observe. You accept. You move. Simple. Not easy. But simple. Because every time you resist the urge to chase, you rebuild your self-respect. Every time you choose silence, you regain control. Every time you walk away, you level up. You have a choice. Repeat it until it becomes your identity. I don't chase what doesn't choose me. Again. I don't chase what doesn't choose me. Again. I don't chase what doesn't choose me. This is your new standard. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable. Because you are breaking a pattern. A pattern of overgiving. A pattern of overthinking. A pattern of overinvesting in people who underdeliver. But growth is uncomfortable. And transformation requires discipline. Remember, you are not asking for too much. You are asking the wrong person. That's the key. And once you understand this, everything changes. You stop forcing connections. You stop explaining your worth. You stop begging for attention. You become selective. You become calm. You become powerful. Because now, you are no longer desperate for love. You are aligned with it. And here's what happens next. When you stop begging, you start attracting. When you stop chasing, you start being chosen. But not by everyone. Only by the right ones. And that's exactly what you want. Because your goal is not attention. Your goal is alignment. Your goal is respect. Your goal is real, consistent, effortless love. And that only comes when you stop accepting anything less. You have a choice. Stay where you are, or evolve. Keep chasing, or start choosing yourself. Beg, or become. Because the moment you stop begging for love is the moment you finally understand your worth. And that's where your power begins. You've taken the first step. But understanding this is not enough. Because if you still see yourself as an option, you will continue to accept being treated like one. So now, it's time to raise your standard. It's time to change how you see yourself. It's time to take control. Chapter 2. Make yourself the standard, not the option. Listen. This is where most people fail. They understand their pain, but they don't change their position. They still wait. They still hope. They still accept less than they deserve. Why? Because deep down, they still see themselves as an option. And if you see yourself as an option, the world will treat you like one. That's the rule. You have a choice. You can continue adjusting your value based on how someone treats you, or you can become the standard that never moves. That's the key. Right now, your value is unstable. One message from them makes your day. One ignored text destroys your mood. One small sign of attention gives you hope again. That's not confidence. That's dependency. And dependency kills self-respect. You don't need their permission to feel valuable. Read that again. You don't need their permission to feel valuable. But your actions say otherwise. Because every time you tolerate inconsistency, you lower your standard. Every time you accept excuses, you weaken your position. Every time you stay after being disrespected, you teach them that it's okay. It's not about them. It's about your discipline. Say it clearly. It's not about how they treat me, it's about what I allow. That's the shift. Because people don't decide your worth. You do. And once you decide it, you enforce it. No exceptions. You have a choice. You can keep negotiating your value, or you can define it once and never explain it again. That's the key. Let's be honest. You've been over-explaining yourself. Trying to make them understand. Trying to show your intentions. Trying to prove your loyalty. Stop. People who value you don't need explanations. They recognize effort. They respect presence. They respond with consistency. If they don't, they're not confused. They're just not invested. And you need to accept that. You don't need their permission to walk away. That's the key. Because here's what happens when you finally become the standard. You stop reacting emotionally. You start observing behavior. You stop asking, why are they like this? You start saying, this doesn't meet my standard. Simple. Powerful. Effective. But it requires discipline. Because your old habits will try to pull you back. You will feel the urge to reply quickly. You will feel the urge to explain again. You will feel the urge to give one more chance. And in that moment, you have a choice. Repeat it. I have a choice. Say it again. I have a choice. Because that moment defines everything. Either you break your pattern, or your pattern breaks you. That's the truth. Being the standard means you don't compete. You don't compare. You don't chase. You don't try to win someone's attention. You already won the moment you chose yourself. That's the mindset. That's the energy. That's the transformation. But let's make it practical. From now on, you don't tolerate late, dry, or disrespectful communication. You don't accept broken promises. You don't stay where effort is one-sided. You walk. Immediately. Not angrily. Not emotionally. But decisively. Because standards are not spoken. They are enforced. That's the key. And yes, people will notice the change. Some will try harder. Some will disappear. Let them. Because your job is not to keep people. Your job is to protect your value. And the right people? They don't get confused by your standards. They rise to meet them. Remember. Low standards attract low effort. High standards attract clarity. So decide. Who are you? The person waiting to be chosen, or the person who chooses? Because you cannot be both. You have a choice. And once you choose yourself, everything shifts. You stop settling. You stop chasing. You stop doubting. You become grounded. You become calm. You become untouchable. Because now, your value is not negotiable. It's fixed. It's stable. It's yours. Say it again. I am the standard. Again. I am the standard. Again. I am the standard. Let that become your identity. Not just words. Behavior. Decisions. Boundaries. Because identity is built through repetition. And repetition creates transformation. This is how you take your power back. This is how you stop being an option. This is how you become the standard. But understand this. Even if you become the standard, if you are still emotionally attached to outcomes, you will lose control again. Because you will still wait. Still hope. Still expect. And expectations create attachment. Attachment creates suffering. So now, it's time to go deeper. It's time to remove the emotional chains. It's time to take full control of your inner world. Chapter 3, Detach from outcomes, attached to self-respect. Listen carefully. Because this is where you either take your power back, or lose it again. You can raise your standards. You can stop chasing. You can say all the right things. But if you are still emotionally attached to the outcome, you are still controlled. That's the truth. You have a choice. You can keep needing a specific result, or you can choose self-respect regardless of what happens. That's the key. Right now, your emotions are tied to outcomes. You send a message, and you want a reply. You show interest, and you expect effort. You invest time, and you hope for commitment. And when those outcomes don't happen, you feel rejected. You feel confused. You feel hurt. But understand this clearly. It's not the outcome that's hurting you. It's your attachment to it. Say it again. It's not the outcome, it's my attachment. That's the shift. Because the moment you expect something from someone, you give them power over your emotions. You start waiting. You start overthinking. You start losing control. And control is everything. You don't need their permission to feel stable. That's the key. Stability comes from within. Not from their reply. Not from their attention. Not from their validation. From you. But right now, you've outsourced your emotional state. You let their actions decide your mood. If they text you, you feel good. If they ignore you, you feel low. That's not love. That's emotional dependency. And dependency keeps you weak. You have a choice. You can keep reacting, or you can start detaching. Now understand this. Detachment does not mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself more. That's the key. You still show up. You still express yourself. You still give effort. But you are not attached to what comes back. You are not waiting. You are not hoping. You are not needing. Because your self-respect is not tied to their response. It's fixed. It's stable. It's yours. And this is where most people struggle. Because they confuse attachment with love. They think, if I don't feel anxious, I don't care. Wrong. Anxiety is not love. Waiting is not love. Overthinking is not love. Love is calm. Love is clear. Love is consistent. Anything else is confusion. And you need to stop romanticizing confusion. You have a choice. You can continue chasing clarity, or you can start accepting reality. That's the key. If someone is inconsistent, that's your answer. If someone is distant, that's your answer. If someone disappears, that's your answer. You don't need closure. You need acceptance. And acceptance requires discipline. Because your mind will try to create stories. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe I should try again. No. Stop. That's your old pattern. And your old pattern is the reason you feel stuck. You don't need their permission to move on. That's the key. You move because you respect yourself. Not because they gave you closure. Not because they explained anything. Not because it feels good. You move because it's necessary. Because every second you stay attached, you delay your growth. And growth requires letting go. Now let's make this practical. From this moment forward, you act without expecting. You give without needing. You walk away without hesitation. Simple. Not easy, but simple. Because every time you release an outcome, you gain control. Every time you stop waiting, you regain time. Every time you detach, you become stronger. You have a choice. Repeat it. I choose me, regardless of the outcome. Again. I choose me, regardless of the outcome. Again. I choose me, regardless of the outcome. Let that sink in. Because this is your new mindset. This is your new identity. You are no longer controlled by responses. You are no longer defined by attention. You are no longer dependent on validation. You are grounded. You are stable. You are free. And freedom is power. But understand this. Detachment alone is not enough. Because if you are still overgiving, you will fall back into the same cycle. You will give too much, expect something back, and get hurt again. So now, it's time to fix that. It's time to address the behavior that keeps draining you. It's time to stop proving your worth through sacrifice. Chapter 4. Stop overgiving to feel worthy. Listen. This is the habit that is silently destroying you. You think you are loving. You think you are caring. You think you are doing the right thing. But you're not. You are overgiving to feel worthy. And that is not love. That is fear. Fear of losing them. Fear of being replaced. Fear of not being enough. So what do? You give more. More time. More attention. More effort. Even when you are tired. Even when it's not returned. Even when it hurts. And you call it love. But let's be honest. If you have to exhaust yourself to keep someone, they are not yours to keep. That's the truth. You have a choice. You can keep giving from fear, or you can start giving from strength. That's the key. Because there is a difference. Giving from fear says, if I do more, they will stay. Giving from strength says, I give because I choose to, not because I need to. Right now, you are giving to be chosen. And that will always backfire. Say it clearly. I don't give to be chosen. Again. I don't give to be chosen. Because the moment your giving becomes a strategy, it loses its value. People can feel it. They can feel the pressure. They can feel the expectation. They can feel the imbalance. And instead of respecting you more, they pull away. Not because you gave too little, but because you gave too much, without boundaries. That's the key. Boundaries. You don't have them. Or if you do, you don't enforce them. And without boundaries, your kindness becomes weakness. Your effort becomes expected. Your presence becomes taken for granted. And slowly, you disappear in the process. You have a choice. You can continue losing yourself in others, or you can start protecting your energy. Because your energy is your currency. And right now, you are investing in the wrong places. You give attention to people who are inconsistent. You give time to people who are unsure. You give effort to people who are unavailable. And then you wonder why you feel drained. It's not about love. It's about discipline. Discipline to stop. Discipline to pause. Discipline to ask yourself one simple question. Is this being returned? If the answer is no, you pull back. Immediately. Not slowly. Not emotionally. Not dramatically. Just stop. Because overgiving is not generosity. It is self-abandonment. And every time you abandon yourself, you lower your value. You don't need their permission to set limits. That's the key. Limits on your time. Limits on your attention. Limits on your effort. Because not everyone deserves full access to you. Read that again. Not everyone deserves full access to you. But right now, you are giving VIP treatment to people who haven't even earned general entry. And that needs to end. Today. You have a choice. You can keep pouring into people who don't pour into you, or you can redirect that energy back to yourself. And when you do that, everything changes. You become calmer. You become clearer. You become stronger. Because now, you are no longer chasing approval. You are operating from self-respect. And self-respect changes how people treat you. Because now, your presence is not guaranteed. Your attention is not constant. Your effort is not automatic. It must be earned. That's the shift. That's the power. Now let's make it real. From this moment forward, you match energy. You don't overextend. You don't give more than what is being given. Simple. Not easy. But simple. Because every time you hold back from overgiving, you build control. Every time you choose yourself, you rebuild your worth. Every time you set a boundary, you strengthen your identity. You have a choice. Repeat it. I protect my energy. Again. I protect my energy. Again. I protect my energy. Let that become your rule. Not sometimes. Always. Because the goal is not to give less love. The goal is to give it to the right people, at the right level, at the right time. That's the key. And once you master this, you stop feeling drained. You stop feeling used. You stop feeling invisible. Because now, you are in control. But understand this. Even when you stop overgiving, if you still ignore the warning signs, you will end up in the same situation again. Because the truth is, you already saw the red flags. You just chose to ignore them. So now, it's time to face that. It's time to sharpen your awareness. It's time to stop lying to yourself. Chapter 5. Recognize the red flags you keep ignoring. Listen closely. Because this is where truth becomes uncomfortable. You didn't fall into confusion suddenly. You walked into it, slowly, knowingly, repeatedly. The signs were there. You saw them. You just didn't want to believe them. And that is the real problem. You have a choice. You can keep explaining people's behavior, or you can start trusting what you already saw. That's the key. Right now, you are not confused because the situation is unclear. You are confused because you are ignoring clarity. Let that sink in. Confusion is not from lack of information. It is from refusal to accept it. You already noticed the inconsistency. You already felt the distance. You already experienced the emotional imbalance. But instead of acting, you adjusted. You lowered your expectations. You made excuses. You waited for change that never came. And every time you did that, you trained yourself to ignore reality. That's dangerous. Because what you ignore, you accept. And what you accept, continues. Say it clearly. I trust what I see. Again. I trust what I see. Because your emotions will lie to you. Your hope will lie to you. Your attachment will lie to you. But behavior never lies. That's the key. If someone is inconsistent, that is the truth. If someone is only present when it suits them, that is the truth. If someone confuses you more than they comfort you, that is the truth. You don't need deeper analysis. You need acceptance. But instead, you keep searching for potential. They can change. They are just busy. They don't mean it. Stop. You are not dating potential. You are dealing with behavior. And behavior is the only thing that matters. You have a choice. You can romanticize potential, or you can respect reality. That's the shift. Because red flags are not mysteries. They are warnings. And warnings are not meant to be studied. They are meant to be acted on. But you didn't act. You stayed. You explained. You tolerated. And slowly, what was once a warning became your normal. That's how people lose themselves. Not in one moment. But in repeated acceptance of what they already knew was wrong. You don't need their permission to leave. That's the key. You don't need closure. You don't need a final explanation. You don't need proof beyond what you already felt. Because your body already knew. Your mind just refused to listen. Now let's be practical. From this moment forward, when you see inconsistency, you pause. When you feel confusion, you step back. When you notice emotional imbalance, you detach. Immediately. Not after months. Not after more pain. Not after another cycle. Now. Because every delay costs you peace. And peace is not negotiable. You have a choice. You can keep ignoring red flags to keep people, or you can start respecting red flags to protect yourself. That's the key. And here's the truth most people avoid. Red flags don't disappear with time. They repeat. They escalate. They define the relationship if you allow them to stay. So when you ignore one red flag, you are not being patient. You are being conditioned. Conditioned to accept less. Conditioned to expect less. Conditioned to become smaller. And you are not here to become smaller. You are here to become aware. You are here to become strong. You are here to become disciplined. Say it. I don't ignore what I already know. Again. I don't ignore what I already know. Because deep down, you already know. You just need the courage to act on it. That's the missing piece. not knowledge. Discipline. And discipline means you don't wait for things to get worse before you leave. You don't wait for disrespect to become normal. You don't wait for pain to become unbearable. You act early. You protect yourself early. You choose yourself early. That's maturity. That's strength. That's self-respect. And once you adopt this mindset, you stop wasting time on people who were never aligned with you. You stop forcing connections. You stop overthinking intentions. You stop rewriting reality. Because reality becomes enough. And that is freedom. But understand this. Even when you recognize red flags, if you still rely on silence, hope, and waiting for answers, you will remain stuck. Because silence itself is an answer. And most people refuse to hear it. So now, it's time to face silence directly. It's time to stop interpreting it. It's time to accept it. Chapter 6, Silence is an Answer, Accept It. Listen. This is where most people break themselves emotionally. Not because of what was said, but because of what was never said. Silence. No reply. No call. No explanation. Just distance. And instead of accepting it, you start decoding it. You start analyzing it. You start overthinking it. You start creating stories to protect yourself from the truth. But hear this clearly. Silence is not confusion. Silence is clarity. You have a choice. You can keep searching for meaning in silence, or you can accept that silence already is the meaning. That's the key. Because when someone wants you in their life, you don't get silence. You get effort. You get communication. You get consistency. Even if it's imperfect, it exists. But silence? Silence is absence of priority. Say it clearly. Silence is my answer. Again. Silence is my answer. Because what is not expressed, is still expressed. Through absence. Through delay. Through avoidance. And you already know this. But you don't accept it. Instead, you wait. You wait for a message that may never come. You wait for closure that may never arrive. You wait for clarity from someone who already chose silence. And every moment you wait, you lose yourself a little more. That's the truth. You have a choice. You can keep waiting for people who are silent, or you can start listening to what silence is telling you. That's the shift. Because silence is not empty. It is loud. It says, you are not a priority right now. It says, you are optional. It says, move on. But your emotions resist that message. So you fill the gap with hope. They're busy. They forgot. They will come back. No. Stop. You are protecting a story that is not real. And that story is costing you your peace. You don't need their permission to move forward. That's the key. Because closure is not something you receive. It is something you decide. And you decide it when you accept silence as final. Not temporary. Not confusing. Final. Let that settle. Now understand this. Silence is not always about disrespect. Sometimes it's simply disinterest. And that is harder to accept. Because disrespect gives you anger, but disinterest gives you truth. And truth is harder to digest. But you must. Because once you accept silence, you stop chasing ghosts. You stop texting into emptiness. You stop checking for signs that aren't there. You stop building emotional meaning from nothing. You return to yourself. You have a choice. You can chase silence, or you can respond to it. That's the key. And responding means one thing. You leave. Not emotionally. Not dramatically. Just calmly. You withdraw your energy. You stop participating in one-sided connections. Because anything that requires constant chasing is not connection. It is imbalance. And imbalance destroys self-respect over time. Say it. I don't chase silence. Again. I don't chase silence. Because the moment you chase silence, you confirm your own abandonment. You teach yourself that your peace depends on someone else's attention. And that is a dangerous place to live. So now let's make it practical. From this moment forward, if someone goes silent, you don't chase. If someone disappears, you don't investigate. If someone avoids you, you don't force clarity. You observe. You detach. You move on. Simple. Because silence already made the decision for you. You just have to accept it. And acceptance is not weakness. It is strength. It is clarity. It is freedom. You have a choice. Repeat it. I accept what is not given to me. Again. I accept what is not given to me. Again. I accept what is not given to me. Because this is how you break emotional dependency. This is how you stop waiting. This is how you reclaim your time. And when you reclaim your time, you reclaim your life. You stop being stuck in what if. You stop living in hope. You stop bleeding energy into silence. And you start living again. But understand this. Even after you accept silence, even after you detach, even after you see the truth, you will still be tempted to fill your life with external validation. Work, people, attention, distractions. Because you are not used to standing alone with yourself. And that is the next level. Because now, it's time to stop relying on external approval entirely. It's time to build a life that doesn't depend on anyone else's validation. It's time to become complete on your own. Now you understand. It was never about them. It was about you forgetting your value, lowering your standards, and abandoning yourself just to keep someone else. But that ends now. From this moment forward, you don't chase. You don't beg. You don't explain your worth to people who refuse to see it. You walk away. You choose peace over attention. You choose self-respect over temporary connection. You choose growth over attachment. Because the truth is, when you finally prioritize your own love, you become unstoppable. People will either rise to meet your standard, or they will disappear. Let them. This is your challenge. Starting today, for the next 7 days, choose yourself in every situation. No exceptions. No excuses. Watch how your life changes when you stop making others your priority, and start making yourself your power. Your life begins the moment you do.